Tonight on CTV News at 6. Financial boost for a company in Timmins Shores.
We are investing in changing our molding systems, our molding line and operations, and upgrading our melting capabilities.
The province is coming through with millions, addressing critical needs.
Our vision is rooted in Anishinaabe teachings that remind us healing happens through relationship, community, and balance.
Several projects in the north are getting federal money. And deaths are outpacing births.
Rural Northern immigration pilot clearly worked.
An institute is reporting the Northeast needs more immigration.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So happy you're with us on this Wednesday. An update on the dog abuse case in Sudbury we told you about yesterday. A 51-year-old man has been charged with cruelty to animals. Police and municipal law enforcement officers investigated reports from the community into a viral video of a man kicking a dog. The accused has been released with the condition to not have any animal in his control or care and to appear in court at a later date. The dog is being cared for at a local shelter. A serious collision closed Highway 17 this morning in Bruce Mines, east of Sault Ste. Marie. One person was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries after a crash involving a pickup truck and a transport. A detour was set up directing traffic away from Highway 638 to Duff Road. Highway 17 reopened just before 9 a.m. Timmins Shores saw a major cash infusion today from the province. One of the companies getting a boost is a mining equipment manufacturer. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
For close to 120 years, a mining manufacturer, Wabi Iron and Steel Corporation, has played a critical role in the supply chain.
We are investing in changing our molding systems, our molding line and operations, and upgrading our melting capabilities.
The foundry, the only one of its kind in Northern Ontario, is where workers make castings.
When the metal freezes,
molten metal goes into a mold.
The castings tend to be wear parts that can be used in the mining operations, both milling and underground.
From $4 million in funding announced today, $3.25 million is going to Wabi to purchase and upgrade existing equipment and renovate its foundry division.
Essentially to go from our current tonnage capability of 700 tons to 5,400 production tons by the end of this project.
Ontario Cabinet Minister George Peary says it's crucial the government prioritizes investments through the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund to protect industries and jobs.
It's part of that strategy about pivoting away the dependency on the dependency of the U.S. markets and building our own made Ontario economy.
The manufacturer ships products to mines in Ontario, Canada, South America, and around the world, recently striking a deal with a mine in Ireland. Down the line, Wabi is planning a large 5-year expansion.
We anticipate approximately 40 more employees added.
Foundries are absolutely essential. So by staying in the game, they now have they're basically in a very unique position.
As it looks to be the premier foundry, Wabi is already planning ahead for another century of production. Eric Tashner, CTV News, Timmins Shores.
Several projects in Northern Ontario received federal funding today to help address critical needs connected to the illegal drug crisis. One of those recipients is an Indigenous health organization in Sault Ste. Marie. CTV's Angela Gemmell has more.
Along with offering primary health care and mental health support, the staff at Mamusing North Shore Community Health is also on the front lines of the illegal drug crisis. They see firsthand the devastating effects of substance use.
Our vision is rooted in Anishinaabe teachings that remind us healing happens through relationship, community, and balance, and that our role is to walk beside our relatives as they reclaim wellness in their own way and on their own time.
The Indigenous Health Organization is one of 8 Ontario projects receiving funding from the Emergency Treatment Fund. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma MP Terry Sheehan announced the federal money today, meant to help communities respond to needs related to the illegal drug crisis.
In rural Canada, in Northern Ontario, in Indigenous communities and non-Indigenous communities, so that we could fund these important initiatives that's going to combat this.
Mamusing will see $3.6 million to address substance use in urban Sault Ste. Marie and North Shore.
For many Indigenous people, mainstream systems have not always felt safe, accessible, or responsive. There are real and ongoing concerns about the care people receive, the barriers they face, and the impact of historical and systemic inequities.
The money will help the organization strengthen its client connection model and its outreach program.
These ongoing relationships help people feel seen, supported, and accountable. They also allow us to identify challenges early and respond with care before situations become crises. When people feel connected, they are more likely to stay engaged and experience positive outcomes.
Also getting money from the Emergency Treatment Fund is a 6-bed residential pre-treatment transition home for Wikwemkong and 24-hour on-call support and response for a program in Birch Island. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Don't Stop Now is the title of the latest briefing note from the Northern Policy Institute. It shows the impact of federal and provincial efforts to move immigration beyond Canada's largest cities is working. CTV's Lindsay Alick tells us more.
Experts say the bottom line is deaths outweigh births in almost every region of Northern Ontario in recent years.
Over the last 50 years, Canada has basically doubled, Ontario has basically doubled, Northern Ontario not so much. And in fact, what we saw is that when you look at population, without the immigration spike of the last 5 years, every region in Northern Ontario would have declined, except for Kenora.
Sirtwell says without the recent population increase driven by both immigration and an increase in temporary residents, Northern Ontario would be demographically and economically unsustainable.
But the rural Northern immigration pilot clearly worked. It saw growth in population across the board in Northern Ontario. We now have 2 new pilots in place, but again, they're temporary and they're small.
They're modeled after an approach used in Atlantic Canada that was super successful and actually made permanent. So our hope is that the federal government will recognize the success of these streams for areas that are outside of our Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver metropolitan areas and make them a permanent pathway for immigration in the future.
The rural and francophone community immigration pilot programs supported 551 principal applicants, representing a total of 1,082 individuals coming to Sudbury.
It's one tool in a suite of tools that help people find their homes in Canada, and certainly in the North, it's been really important for hundreds of employers who have found talented employees who are here to stay and want to stay and be part of the community.
Sirtwell adds that Northern Ontario needs 6,500 new people every year for the next 20 to make up for people retiring. That's compared to other parts of the province, which only need about 2,000. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Police in Sault Ste. Marie are warning the public about ice conditions on the St. Mary's River. River ice is unpredictable because the water beneath it is always moving, meaning ice thickness can change quickly and without warning. This warning comes after police received several reports of people walking out on the river and cutting holes in the ice surface to cold plunge far from the shoreline. The St. Mary's River is known for its strong current, which can easily pull a person under the ice and away from cut openings, posing serious risk of injury or death. All right, what about the weather? How much snow are places going to get this evening? For that answer, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Can I take a pass on the cold plunging right now, Tony? I'm not ready for that just yet.
Me neither.
Systems map, courtesy of Environment Canada. This is what we've got to go on. For the next 24 hours or so. We've got some systems moving in. Risk of freezing drizzle in some areas, more to the south, Gore Bay, Parry Sound area as well. So again, we have some precipitation in Greater Sudbury, about 5 centimeters starting later on this evening. Sault Ste. Marie, Gore Bay coming off lots of precipitation in the form of snow earlier today. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast, and up next we've got our current temperatures just for you, Tony, coming up.
Thanks, Rick. Reaction was swift. Still to come on CTV News at 6. Students chime in on new changes coming to OSAP. Right now, though, we're heading to downtown Timmins. This live webcam is courtesy of the city. It is -9 Celsius. We will return in just a few short minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Last week, the province announced major reductions to OSAP grants effective this fall, and it's sparking concern from student groups and opposition parties. In Sudbury, students say they're worried about how they will afford an education. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
At Queen's Park yesterday, Ontario Premier Doug Ford defended the changes coming to post-secondary institutions as his government lifts a freeze on tuition and cuts grants.
A lot of the students, I'm not one to say, like you're picking basket weaving courses and there's not too many baskets being sold out there.
At Sudbury's Cambrian College, those remarks aren't sitting well.
No degree is a basket weaving degree, in my opinion. I think all jobs matter. Almost every degree matters. We're all contributing to the future of Ontario.
These aren't just basket weaving jobs people are choosing. I want to be a teacher, but if I can't afford to be a teacher, that's a job that's in high demand right now. The statement really kind of just rubbed me the wrong way when he said that. It's not cool at all.
The new OSAP structure means students will have to pay back more of the money they receive. Grants are now capped at 25%, leaving loans to cover at least 75% of the bill. It's a shift leaving many worried about long-term debt.
In the BSCN program, it's all funded through OSAP. So right now my program is free, which is great, but that's not the case for a lot of people. So nurses that we desperately need are not getting enough encouragement.
And I have a lot of friends that are on OSAP because they need it. They cannot get an education without OSAP, and having to pay back all that money afterwards is insane.
Cambrian's Athletic Association president says he's hearing from plenty of stressed out students.
We're trying to be more verbal about our bursaries that we have available here at the college, help them out with that, help them submit an application so they could seek some more financial help.
Some students here say they'll see the true cost of their education when OSAP applications go live this spring, ahead of the changes coming into effect this September. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Mark State Public Library is making the move into a building occupied by the community's Golden Age Club. The decision was made by council last night after the library had received an eviction notice from its current site by the Rainbow District School Board. The controversial part, the municipality only owns one building, and the library told councillors it wasn't looking to share due to mitigating circumstances. After some debate, council voted to move the library and have both the library and the Seniors Club sit down with the CAO to see if an agreement can be reached.
If it's completely impossible, we'll find out then. They will come to an impasse and they can report back to council. And that is moving forward. We should have done this a long time ago. The problem is whatever we say now, one side is out on the street. We can say, okay, the library's going there no matter what. That puts the seniors on the street. If we say the seniors are staying there, that puts the library out on the street. We can't do that. We need the two to sit down, see what they can come up with. We have the time to do that.
The clock was ticking for council as the library was told it must vacate Mark State Public School by April. Repairs to the College Street underpass in Sudbury will happen just on a smaller scale. That according to the City of Greater Sudbury, which is now proposing using federal money already received to do the repairs. The new price tag is down to $8.7 million from $25 million. The bridge and underpass are in need of repair, which the city will do, but without making upgrades or modifications to the bridge, intersection, or railway. City Council will hear a report on the new proposal next week. Samuel de Champlain Provincial Park near Mattawa is set to partially reopen this spring. The park was damaged by a storm last summer, forcing it to close for the season. Officials say the Baba Wasp campground will reopen May 8th, which features electrical sites and a comfort station. While this is good news for the provincial park, the entire west side of the park will remain closed to start the season. Work will continue throughout the summer to repair the damage. The organization Sudbury Queers United Around Diversity, known as SQUAD, continues its work for safety, diversity, and equality for the 2S LGBTQI+ community. Today, Sudbury MP Vivian Lapointe announced more than $250,000 in federal funding to help the group continue reducing barriers. SQUAD opened a safe space on Durham Street in downtown Sudbury last August. The funding will be used to expand services and offer workshops that foster inclusion, education, and understanding.
The work that SQUAD does really speak to the values that we all hold as Canadians, the values of respect, of democracy, of inclusive societies. And so that this funding helps them do a lot of that great work that they do, the advocacy, the support, as well as the education.
Suicide is at a higher rate within the queer community. Isolation, they've proven that isolation and loneliness is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So it affects you not only just mentally and emotionally, but it affects you physically. And it's, so then everything that comes with that, the pressures of minority stress.
SQUAD is also working with a local long-term care facility to offer a rainbow space and training videos on how staff and residents can be more accepting and inclusive. All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Interesting night for current conditions. We'll get to those temperatures in just a moment. But first, our forecast radar, that system that's hovering around the northeast. Some snow still in Sault Ste. Marie, Greater Sudbury, about 5 centimeters for this evening, beginning later on tonight. Let's have a look now. What's happening right across the northeast? Current temperatures: Moosonee -10, Cochrane -8, some clear skies there, -9 in Timmins, -7 in Kapuskasing, some clear conditions. Mainly cloudy in Chapleau, -7, -4 in Wawa, and some precipitation in the Sioux, -4, a day of precipitation there. Parry Sound, some light snow as well at 0, risk of freezing drizzle in the forecast. Temiskaming Shores, -7, North Bay, -4. Kirkland Lake, a few clouds and a -8. How about Greater Sudbury this hour? -5, Espanola -5, some light snow, Elliott Lake -6, and Gore Bay, some light snow, -5 degrees as well. 7-day forecast, an hour. Pick of the day, all coming up, Tony, in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Rick. Crossing the floor, next on CTV News at 6. Another Conservative MP is joining Mark Carney and the governing Liberals. And skiers are overcome by an avalanche near Lake Tahoe. 8 bodies have been recovered. Another Conservative MP has crossed the floor, bringing the Liberals 1 seat closer to a majority government. CTV's Mike Couture has that story.
Matt brings a wealth of experience.
Prime Minister Mark Carney praising his newly poached MP. Matt Genereux says his decision to leave the Conservatives was more about the team he was joining.
Quite simply couldn't sit on the sidelines after seeing what the Prime Minister was, the ambitious agenda he was undertaking across the country and across the world.
In November, Genereux said he was leaving politics to spend more time with his family. But the Alberta MP says it was Carney's speech at Davos that convinced him to change his mind.
I think it opened a lot of eyes for Canadians, Albertans, Edmontonians, just how serious this national meeting crisis truly is.
A Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, responded on social media, calling the floor crossing a betrayal of the people in Genereux's riding who voted for affordable food and homes, safe streets, and a strong resource sector. And some believe Genereux could suffer the consequences of his decision in the next federal election.
When he starts knocking on doors, he's going to get a bit of a wake-up call that these people didn't vote for a good speech in Davos. They voted for a Conservative member of Parliament to represent their Conservative values, and that's not what they're getting.
But Poilievre could feel the effects first. Genereux is the 3rd MP he's lost to the Liberals in the last 4 months. While polls have the Liberals and Conservatives in a dead heat, Carney has a 29-point lead when it comes to preferred Prime Minister.
When some caucus members leave to cross the floor to join the Liberals, that's their own vote of what I'll say discontent with Pierre Poilievre as a leader and as a potential Prime Minister.
Now, this latest floor crosser leaves the Liberals 3 seats shy of a majority. And with 3 by-elections coming up, they could get that majority without holding a general election. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is distancing himself from comments made by one of his MPs, Jamil Giovanni, who represents the riding of Bowmanville, Oshawa North, called Canada's reaction to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs an anti-America hissy fit.
Well, he speaks for himself, and I speak for the party.
Giovanni made the comments to right-wing U.S. media outlet Breitbart after making a solo trip to Washington to meet with senior U.S. officials. He called his conversations productive. Poilievre says he has spoken to Giovanni following the trip. The Conservative leader says his message is that Canada needs to focus on what it can do at home to increase leverage in trade negotiations.
My view is that he represents a riding that has been disproportionately impacted by the dispute. He's from just outside of Oshawa. 1,200 Oshawa residents have lost their jobs in part due to the tariffs. And I think that it's necessary for all MPs to use all the connections and work that they can in order to overturn the tariffs and protect Canadian jobs. So I encourage all MPs to fight the tariffs and stand up for Canada.
Giovanni is a friend of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. The pair went to university together, and Giovanni helped run a charity organization founded by Vance between 2016 and 2018. Canada's new top diplomat in Washington has officially taken on the role of ambassador to the United States, coming at a turbulent time in Canada-U.S. relations. Mark Wiseman presented his credentials to U.S. President Trump yesterday. He's a global investment banker and a longtime friend of Prime Minister Mark Carney. He's looking to help Canada find tariff off-ramps and stability ahead of a review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. In a statement, Wiseman says it's a profound privilege to serve as ambassador and that the partnership between Canada and the U.S. is foundational to our shared prosperity, security, and global leadership. In Geneva, a second day of peace talks between Ukraine and Russia has ended with no breakthrough. Ukraine's president is accusing Moscow of stalling U.S.-mediated efforts to end the war. Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is trying to drag out negotiations that could already have reached the final stage. Ukraine has faced repeated pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump to agree to a deal that could mean significant concessions. Zelensky called the first day of talks yesterday difficult. The delegation said they would meet again without providing a date. Meanwhile, NATO's High Readiness Spearhead Force has been deployed across Europe for the first time. Nearly 10,000 military personnel have been mobilized from 13 countries, as well as several warships and aircraft. Many are gathered in northern Germany to showcase Steadfast Dart, NATO's biggest drills of 2026. The U.S. is not taking part, but military officers say that is coincidental and not due to political tensions within the alliance or America's focus on security priorities elsewhere. Officials have found the bodies of 8 backcountry skiers in the aftermath of an avalanche Tuesday morning near Lake Tahoe. While the search continues for one more skier from that group, rescuers were able to reach 6 survivors from the group. Officials say the survivors had taken refuge in a makeshift shelter, communicating with rescuers via radio beacon and text messages. Tuesday's avalanche was one of the deadliest in U.S. history. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, it's a good night. I'm happy Canada won today. Of course, a big game over Czechia. And again, Canada advances to the semifinals at the Olympics in Italy. Very, very happy. And a Montreal Canadian scored the game-tying goal, and Nick Suzuki. Thank you for that, Susie. Appreciate that. Forecast radar, here we go. With the system that's hovering over the Northeast right now, we've got some snow coming up in Greater Sudbury, remnants in Sault Ste. Marie, Gore Bay, St. Joseph Island, and parts in between. Then we've got the chance of snow coming up in a couple of days. That's by 6 o'clock on Friday evening. So overnight conditions, 5 centimeters, Greater Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, 2 centimeters, a few clouds, Timmins, Temiskaming Shores, chance of flurries, and 2 centimeters in North Bay. Meanwhile, Moosonee, chance of flurries, mainly cloudy, Caphurst, Wawa, 5 centimeters, Gore Bay, 5 centimeters, and 5 centimeters in Parry Sound. Parry Sound has had its fair share of snow as well. Sudbury Nickel Belt, cloud cover and 0, chance of snow Friday -2, -4, Saturday -3 on Sunday. Then it gets colder. Monday, some sun and cloud -10, -10 once again on Tuesday with the chance of flurries, even the overnight lows -22. Yikes, that's Monday evening. Get ready for that. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, chance of flurries tomorrow +1, chance of snow on Friday at 2, -2 on Saturday, chance of flurries again on Sunday -4. Then it gets colder for a couple of nights. Monday and Tuesday, -9 and -8, even -18 on Monday evening in the Sault and Algoma. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, mainly cloudy tomorrow -4, -5 Friday, sun and cloud Saturday -5, -5 again on Sunday, chance of flurries. Then it gets colder, -15 Monday, sun and cloud, -12 on Tuesday with the chance of flurries, and of course those temperatures during the day, even at night, nowhere near the normal for this time of the year. In Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of flurries tomorrow at 0, chance of snow at 30% Friday, -3, -3 again Saturday and Sunday, chance of flurries both days at 30%. Monday, sun and cloud turning colder, -11, -12 on Tuesday with the chance of flurries, then warming up a bit on Wednesday with a high of -4. How about North Bay, West Nipissing? Some cloud cover tomorrow at 0. Friday, chance of snow -1, chance of flurries for a couple of days, Saturday and Sunday, -3 the highs both days, cooling down to -8 Monday, sun and cloud, and -10 on Tuesday with the chance of flurries at 30% again. Those temperatures nowhere near the normal mark. Let's have a look now at our pick of the day. Great shot. Terry Martin. He was out for a walk and captured some beautiful, or as he likes to call them, majestic swans and some ducks. Fielding Park near Lively. Always a great place to hang out, winter, spring, summer, or fall. Terry, thank you so much for that pick. Still to come, Shiloh Russo watch party held earlier today. Of course, competing in the biathlon at the Milan Olympics. Of course, Shiloh's from Thessalon, so a great crowd was on hand to check it out. We have that story just minutes away.
Chances are you've been walking in a mall or maybe searching online and been offered free samples of products to try. Sales staff can be aggressive, and you have to be careful you don't sign contracts for something you might not want or need. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Meredith is a student from Mississauga who asked we only use her first name. Last November, she was walking through a mall when she was offered free skincare samples.
This one is a skin relaxer cream.
She was told she was eligible for a free skin analysis, and during the session, a salesperson used a red light therapy device.
And they started putting it on my face without me telling them to.
Meredith agreed to pay almost $1,400 for the therapy light, but that was only a down payment. When she got home, she realized she signed a contract to pay a $10,000 loan at 25% interest. With the deposit, it was a commitment of about $14,000.
I feel scared because I don't have that money. I'm just a student.
Meredith signed the contract with the soap tree. She thought she had a cooling off period where she could return the product if she changed her mind. When she went back to the mall, the store she bought it from was gone.
The store is not there. It's completely empty.
If someone comes to your home and you sign a contract, there is a 10-day cooling off period where you can change your mind. But if you go to a retail store, the cooling off period does not apply. As well as signing a contract in your home, the cooling off period also applies if you join a fitness club, buy a newly built condo, take out a payday loan, or purchase a timeshare. CTV News reached out to the soap tree but did not get a response. The company that holds the loan is LendCare. A spokesperson told us, "We are conducting a review of this merchant and the circumstances surrounding this situation. We have canceled this loan and refunded the associated fees so the customer has no further obligation." That was great news for Meredith, who plans to be more careful signing contracts in the future.
Thank you, CTV News. I'm really grateful for your help. I couldn't do it without you, and I'm just really happy. Thank you.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Consumer demand is a key factor to several major airlines reducing flights to U.S. cities. CTV's Alex Carpa has more on that story.
Yeah, this is myself with my daughter when she was going to school just outside of Pittsburgh.
Mike Gebhardt is a frequent traveler to the United States.
Well, on average, I would probably travel 3, 4, maybe 5.
His daughter lives in Alabama, but visiting her sometimes is not easy.
I do fly out of Saskatchewan most of the time, so it is a bit of a challenge. Leave early in the morning, come back late at night.
But traveling could get a little more chaotic for passengers like Gebhardt. WestJet and Air Transat recently slashed several routes from Canada to U.S. cities.
It's something to always be aware of.
Statistics Canada data last month showed that Canadians continue to take fewer trips to the U.S. in November 2025. Travel agent Daryl Silver says passengers shouldn't be worried about this shift.
Yes, could there be more problems now? I suppose, but in general, I don't think that that's significant if that is happening.
A few travel experts we spoke to say passenger demand to the U.S. from Canada is down and say it's no surprise that airlines like WestJet and Air Transat are reducing these routes.
It's one of those things where they feel they can focus on domestic, where they excel, especially on the West Coast, and become more profitable. It's good for them.
John Graddick says the reduction is consumer-driven.
Not driven by the weather, not driven by anything else. Consumers have decided that they'd rather spend their leisure travel dollars on flights other than the USA, and they're reacting to that.
Meanwhile, Porter Airlines announcing it's adding routes to the U.S., saying travelers want more options. As for Gebhardt, he says he'll continue traveling to the U.S. to see his daughter, but when it comes to vacationing south of the border, he admits he's thinking twice, especially as flight options are reduced. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
All Timmins police officers are undergoing mandatory training to learn how to better respond to mental health crisis calls. They're partnering with Northern College to use virtual reality technology that will help them learn how to de-escalate complex situations. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
2 years ago, the province mandated that all sworn police officers complete mental health crisis response training. With the April 1st deadline fast approaching, the Timmins Police Service is partnering with Northern College to ensure every officer meets the requirement. The use of virtual reality technology simulates potential situations officers could face.
I'll come in and have a chat with you. I just don't want to come in while you have the scissors in your hand. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
In a case like this, the person was delusional, was seeing things, was hearing voices. So in this case, the officer would use some of the techniques that he receives through the training. Some of those techniques could be time and distance, not getting into the person's private space until they allow you into there. It could be using a humanized approach.
A key component of the training is de-escalation. Officers practice responding to high-pressure situations in a controlled, immersive environment. Officers learn how to identify individuals experiencing mental health crises and how to respond to them compassionately without the use of force.
What if the person's suffering from schizophrenia? What exactly are you looking for in order to resolve this? That could be different than somebody that's suffering, that's manic. So to know the differences and be able to identify that increases our chance of success of being able to relate with that person and come to a peaceful resolution.
Northern College says it was the first one in the province to invest in VR training for its Police Foundations program.
Now we've partnered with Timmins Police Service so that they could use this room for the training. It gives them an opportunity to have it always set up, always ready to go. And it gives our students an opportunity to, practice what we've taught them in class.
We've been doing this training for quite some time here at the college and in partnership with the college. But now that it's mandatory for all police services in the province, we were already ahead of the game.
Police officials say the training will be completed by the end of March, and officers will have to retake it annually. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Bears have been popping up along a popular ski trail in the Ottawa area, much to the delight of skiers. CTV's Peter Sperling explains.
Maggie Glossop's creations spread joy.
People tell me it makes them smile, so that makes me smile.
She sculpts bears out of snow.
I build them because I enjoy building and also because people seem to really like them.
Their home in the Kitchissippi Woods near the Ottawa River.
I started building snow bears here about 8 or 9 years ago, and every year when the snow conditions are right, I come back and build bears. Good morning.
A hit with anyone walking, snowshoeing, or skiing along the Kitchissippi Winter Trail.
It's a highlight, and I always come in this part of the trail because they're so cute and so sweet, and I appreciate it. Puts a smile on my face every single time.
And it looks so cool. There are a total of 15 bears, and some people using this trail have even made it a treasure hunt to find all of them.
I saw those 3, and then there were some around the corner, and then these ones now, but no, I haven't seen 15, I don't think, so.
Are you going to keep
maybe
an eye
there's
out?
more, yeah, for sure.
Some are up in the trees, others on tree stumps, and these two on a bench. Sculpting the bears requires slightly warmer temperatures.
When it gets close to 0, the snow gets sticky, and then I can build them.
Parts of their faces made using brown wool. For 78-year-old Glossop, who lives nearby, it's a chance to be outside.
It's my happy place, so instead of signing up for a gym to go and get exercise, I'm over in the woods almost every day.
And when it gets too warm, the bears hibernate until next year.
People ask me, but don't you get really sad when they melt away? And I say, no, they're I come back and do it again next year, and it's great.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
She has a lot of support along the north shore of Lake Huron. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. People in the town of Thessalon are certainly showing their pride for Olympian Shiloh Rousseau. A French Catholic school in Sudbury watched the girls' hockey team play against the Greater Sudbury Police Service women's team today. The goal is to raise awareness for the school's new specialist high-skills major program. CTV's Madison Merrier has that story.
Green pom-poms and school spirit lined the arena this morning to increase awareness for the new sport schism at L'Horizon.
It's just to get them now to know exactly what it entails. Like, it's not just for the athletes, but it's for many students involved, like that can get involved. So we're just going to have to work on that part, but I think it's going to be a success for sure.
The future is going to be more co-op placements for those who are already in the exploitation minière high schools major and the santé bien-être high schools major, but now we offer sports, so we're going to be able to offer even more co-op programs.
Ledo says the hockey game is to get students in grades 11 and 12 interested in sport schism.
A lot of our classmates and a lot of people at our school in general are interested in sports, so I think that it's a great opportunity for like a lot of the students.
I think there's going to be lots more people participating in that, and I think, yeah, I'm also interested in it because I'm interested in going into like medicine, science.
The new schism took a year in the making, but the school felt it was necessary with how prevalent sports are at L'Horizon.
They presented us a report asking for a new schism. They have to have community partners, they have to have co-op placements, and then they see how this will be beneficial to the students, and that's how the board decides with the government if it's a good schism and a good fit for our community.
The game ended 3-2 for L'Horizon Anglais against GSPS, and players are hoping the success will increase the school's interest in women's hockey. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Hanmer.
From skiing down gravel roads in our town of 1,200 to the biggest athletic stage in the world, Shiloh Rousseau is making Thessalon proud. CTV's Corey Nordstrom stopped in for the breakfast watch party as Rousseau made her final appearance at these games.
Excited eyes took in the last event of Shiloh Rousseau's Olympic debut. The biathlete is believed to be the first ever Olympian from Thessalon, with the community rallying around her for each event the 25-year-old took part in.
We're really proud of Shiloh, for sure, my wife and I, and then not just us, but like I said, the whole community's proud of her.
It's huge for a town of this size. We used to see her roller skiing around town and running up Highway 129, and she used the Rod and Gun Club out in Little Rapids. So we've been seeing her working hard her whole life.
The odds of making it is like point and then 5 zeros, 17. That's the odds of somebody making it to the Olympics with the population.
Rousseau's final event of the 2026 Games was as the second leg of the 4x6 kilometer relay. Overall, Shiloh told her parents she had hoped for better results this Olympics, but in her last appearance in Milano Cortina, the Thessalon native started 19th and at one point moved Team Canada into 9th. Not only did Thessalon follow along for each of her events, they helped make it happen with multiple fundraisers.
This is a very expensive sport, traveling through Europe and that. So people, businesses in town and the North Shore and individual people have stepped up and helped her out. And that's why she is where she is today, because of all the people behind her.
Shiloh just says, thank you, everyone. Thank you. She said she was happy she had a good leg today.
While it's still too early for Shiloh to decide if she'll try to compete at the next Winter Olympics, she's already made history in her community. Her family and friends say Rousseau has proven to children in any small town like Thessalon that they too can make their dreams a reality if they put in the time and effort. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Thessalon.
A nail-biter in men's hockey, and more Canadians climbed the podium in Milano Cortina. CTV Scott Hurst has the Olympic roundup.
Canadian passion was on full display following the men's hockey game in Milan.
Incredible. It was a lot of fun to be a part of.
But it was unfamiliar territory early on for Canada in its quarterfinal matchup against Czechia. After an early goal by 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini, Czechia responded with 2 goals of its own, putting Canada behind for the first time all tournament.
Classic Canadian hockey. We don't wake up the first 20 minutes of the game.
In the second period, more concern for Canada as captain Sidney Crosby left the game with an injury and did not return. But Canada was able to tie it up. Nathan McKinnon scored off a pass from Connor McDavid.
It was stressful, but we never gave up. We believed.
And that belief paid off. In the third, the teams traded goals to send this quarterfinal matchup to a 3-on-3 overtime. And it was former Toronto Maple Leaf Mitch Marner who scored the game-winning goal for Canada.
It was electric. It was just so good to be part of this community and see all the Canadian passion.
In other Olympic action, more podiums for Canadian athletes, including a gold in the men's 500-meter short track final. Stephen Dubois is now the Olympic champion. Also, Canada won a bronze medal in the women's 3,000-meter relay. The team of Dana Iblé, Kim Boutin, Florence Brunel, and Courtney Sereau. For Sereau, the 25-year-old from Moncton, New Brunswick, this is her 4th Olympic medal at these games. The spotlight returns to hockey tomorrow with the highly anticipated women's final, Canada versus the United States. The Canadians lost to the Americans earlier in the tournament, but Team Canada is the defending Olympic champion. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
A famous voice joins the cast of the latest Star Wars franchise, while a punk rock icon is featured in a documentary. David Daniel has tonight's Hollywood Report.
I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
Yes, that's Martin Scorsese as a voice actor in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver lead the cast of the first big-screen Star Wars installment in 7 years. The official trailer just dropped. The film opens in theaters May 22nd.
I think I try to keep a positive attitude wherever I go.
McKenna Grace reportedly is getting her Scooby on. Variety and Deadline report the actress has been cast as the young Daphne Blake in Netflix's live-action Scooby-Doo series. The show will explore how the Mystery Incorporated gang got together.
It's easy to say it's the drugs, but what about if it's me? What about if it's really Billy who's doing this?
Billy Idol Should Be Dead looks at how the punk pioneer survived to become a music and cultural icon. This is a first-look clip from the feature-length documentary, which opens in LA February 23rd, New York February 25th, and wider on the 26th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
General Motors announced today it is investing millions in its Oshawa plant just weeks after laying off 700 of its workers. BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya has more.
General Motors is spending $63 million to upgrade operations at its plant in Oshawa, which is just east of Toronto. The investment comes as the plant prepares to assemble its next generation gasoline-powered pickup trucks. GM says the newest investment will bring total spending at the plant to $1.5 billion. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar was up to finish the day. West Texas Intermediate is up to 65.05. Western Canadian Select is down to just under $46 a barrel. And the TSX hitting a new all-time record high today, ending the day at 33,389. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $95.53, closing the day at $49.76.49 US an ounce. Silver moved ahead $3.76 to end the day at $77.19. Copper up 10 cents to $5.79, and nickel up 12 cents, ending the day at $7.64 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Not as snowy tomorrow, Tony, as opposed to today. Cloudy skies for tomorrow in Greater Sudbury, overcast skies. Mainly cloudy in Timmins, well, mainly cloudy and -4. Chance of flurries in the Sault at 30%, +1. They've had a lot of snow in the Sault today. North Bay, 0 and cloudy. 5 degrees, mainly cloudy. Perry Sound, some snow overnight. Risk of freezing drizzle. Chance of flurries in Temiskaming Shores, 0. And of course, those flurries can linger over the course of several hours. So again, Greater Sudbury tonight, later on tonight, 5 centimeters continuing overnight. Tony?
Thanks, Rick. And finally, an unusually enthusiastic track invader jumped on the cross-country stadium course during Olympic competition today. This husky wandered onto the course and decided to join the action. The unexpected intruder caused the cheering crowd to howl in delight. Cameras captured the dog crossing the finish line, and while it didn't reach the podium, it did appear to have the time of its life. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.